Let us be brutally honest about deep concealment. When we discuss compact firearms designed for the pocket carry lifestyle, the vast majority of modern shooters immediately look toward polymer frame semi-automatic pistols. I understand the appeal. They are lightweight and they are popular. However, if you speak with seasoned firearms experts or old-school gunfighters who have survived real-world encounters, they will often steer you toward a different solution. They will point you to the Snub-Nosed Revolver. Do not roll your eyes. This is not just granddad's gun. You would be shocked at how many Tier 1 operators and ballistics experts still rely on these compact wheel guns when they need a weapon that absolutely must function in a worst-case scenario. There is a critical tactical reason for this. We need to talk about the contact shot. In a life or death struggle at bad breath distance, you might be forced to press the muzzle of your weapon directly into the body of an attacker. If you try this with your favorite striker-fired semi-automatic, the slide will likely be pushed out of battery. When you pull the trigger, you will get a click instead of a bang. That is a catastrophic failure. A revolver does not have this weakness. You can jam the muzzle of a Smith & Wesson J-Frame into a thread, and it will fire every single time. That is reliability you cannot buy with a polymer pistol. When you visualize a snub-nose, the Smith & Wesson J-Frame series is the image that comes to mind. These revolvers have earned their reputation over decades of violence and law enforcement service. Think of the J-Frame like a vintage heavy-duty hammer. It might not be pretty, but it will never fail you. These guns are low maintenance and built to endure harsh environments. You can carry one in a pocket holster surrounded by lint and sweat for 6 months, and it will still function flawlessly. There are no magazines to degrade and no feed ramps to polish. It is pure mechanical simplicity. Now let us look at a modern evolution of the wheel gun. This is the Ruger LCR, specifically the Lipsy's exclusive model, chambered in .32 H&R Magnum. This cartridge is making a massive resurgence in the self-defense community. It offers significant penetration and expansion without the punishing recoil of a .38 Special. Ruger claims that the felt recoil in this model is roughly 30 to 40% lower than a comparable revolver firing standard defensive loads. This revolver weighs just under 14 ounces. It features the Hogue Tamer grip, which is essential for managing energy transfer during rapid fire strings. The trigger utilizes the patented Ruger friction-reducing cam system. This results in a non-stacking double-action pull that feels buttery smooth. It is a massive improvement over the heavy, gritty triggers of the past. Because this cylinder is chambered for the smaller diameter .32 caliber projectile, you get 6 rounds in the cylinder, instead of the standard 5 you would find in a J-frame. That is a 20% increase in onboard firepower. The versatility here is unmatched. This LCR can fire .32 H&R Magnum for defense, but it can also safely chamber and fire .32 Smith & Wesson long and even .32 Smith & Wesson short rounds. This allows for incredibly low recoil practice sessions. The bronze anodized aluminum frame combined with the matte black stainless steel cylinder creates a two-tone aesthetic that looks strictly business. There are no sharp edges to snag on your clothing during a draw stroke. I was skeptical about stepping down in caliber, but after running drills with this setup, I am a believer. If you are looking for a dedicated pocket defender that balances modern technology with old-school reliability, the Smith & Wesson Military and Police Bodyguard demands your attention. This is not a safe queen. This is a tool built for the harsh realities of daily carry. It is chambered in .38 Special, a cartridge that has put more bad guys in the ground than almost any other in history. While it is rated for +P ammunition, you need to understand the physics here. At roughly 14 ounces, this lightweight frame is going to transfer significant energy back to your hand. However, the dimensions are where this revolver shines. With a 1.9-inch barrel and an overall length of just over 6½ inches, it disappears in a pocket holster. The most critical feature for concealed carry is the internal hammer. There is zero chance of this hammer snagging on your shirt or the lining of your jacket during a high-stress draw. Smith & Wesson also included an ambidextrous cylinder release, which is a massive ergonomic win for left-handed shooters. You can even find models equipped with an integrated crimson trace laser. While lasers are no substitute for fundamentals, in an awkward shooting position where you cannot align your sights, that red dot could save your life. Now, Let us shift gears to a manufacturer known for legendary 1911 pistols. When Kimber announced they were entering the revolver market, the industry was skeptical. Then we got our hands on the Kimber K6s. They did not just build a revolver, they built perhaps the most elegant carry magnum on the market today. Most small-frame revolvers force you to compromise with only 5 shots. Kimber engineered the cylinder to hold 6 rounds of full power, .357 Magnum. That is a 20% increase in capacity over the competition in a package that is barely wider than a standard snub-nose. It weighs in at 23 ounces. Do not let the weight scare you away. When you are touching off a Magnum round from a 2-inch barrel, that extra steel is the only thing keeping the gun controllable. It soaks up the recoil impulse significantly better than the featherweight alloy guns. The machining on the K6s is superb. The cylinder is flattened at the sides to reduce the width, making it much more comfortable inside the waistband. But the real game changer here is the sight picture. Kimber gives you legitimate dovetail-mounted iron sights, not just a notch cut into the top of the frame. This allows for actual accuracy at distance. The trigger is a smooth, non-stacking double-action pull that breaks right around 9 pounds. We cannot talk about fighting revolvers without mentioning the rampant pony. The Colt King Cobra has returned, and their 2-inch snub-nose models are absolute tanks. These are built on heavy-duty stainless steel frames with full-sized rubber grips. At 26 ounces unloaded, the King Cobra is heavy, but that mass is your best friend when shooting defensive ammunition. The felt recoil is manageable, allowing for much faster follow-up shots than you could ever achieve with a lighter gun. Colt includes a full underlug on the barrel, which protects your ejector rod from bending if you have to use the weapon as an impact tool. The trigger is distinct, but the cylinder release pulls backward. Unlike the push-forward design of Smith & Wesson, it takes some training to override your muscle memory, but the build quality is undeniable. Whether you choose the bobbed hammer carry model or the standard spurred hammer, you are carrying a piece of American heavy metal. For years, the Taurus Model 605 was the gun you bought when your budget was tight. But listen to me closely. Taurus is no longer just the budget option. They are a serious contender. The latest generation of the Model 605 proves they are playing to win. This revolver delivers 5 rounds of full house .357 Magnum stopping power without bankrupting you. It is the working man's force multiplier. The real headline here is the new 3-inch barrel option. That extra inch of rifling might not look like much, but ballistically, it is huge. It gives that Magnum powder charge just enough dwell time to burn efficiently, meaning you get higher velocity and better terminal performance than you would from a standard snub-nose. You can choose between a polished stainless finish or a matte black coating. The price point is aggressive. You are looking at roughly $455 for the black model and $470 for the stainless version. For a gun that can survive the abuse of daily carry, that is an incredible value. Plus, it is compatible with a wide variety of speed loaders and holsters already on the market. Now, I need to show you something that looks like it fell out of a sci-fi movie timeline. This is the Diamondback SDR, or Side Dump Revolver. At first glance, it looks radical, but the logic behind it is sound. This is a revolver chambered in 9mm Luger. Think about the tactical logistics. If your primary duty weapon is a polymer semi-auto, carrying a backup gun that eats the exact same ammunition is a massive logistical advantage. The SDR holds 6 rounds, and because 9mm is a rimless cartridge, you have to run this gun with moon clips. Diamondback partnered with TK Custom to include 3 moon clips right in the box. This is not a bug, it is a feature. Moon clips allow you to drop all 6 rounds into the cylinder simultaneously and eject them all as a single unit. It is the fastest reload method in the revolver world. The gun features a high-polished stainless finish, fiber optic sights, orange front, green rear, and weighs just over 21 ounces. The trigger is crisp, breaking at around 3½ pounds in single-action mode. It is weird, it is shiny, and it works. But what if you want the absolute pinnacle of the classic snub-nose? What if you want a J-frame that has been tuned to perfection by people who actually carry guns for a living? Enter the Lipsys and Smith & Wesson Ultimate Carry. They took the legendary Model 642 and 442 platforms and fixed everything that people used to complain about. First, they installed real sights. You get a blacked-out Novak-style rear notch and a massive XS sights front dot with a tritium insert. You can actually see these sights in the dark. Second, they addressed the grip. It comes with VZG-10 high horn grips that allow you to get a high dominant hold on the revolver to control recoil without compromising concealment. But the biggest news? No internal lock. That is right. They listened to the enthusiasts. There is no mechanical lock to fail or engage inadvertently. It is built on the lightweight airweight frame, keeping the total package at a feather-light 16 ounces. You can get it in 38 Special or the incredibly capable 32 H&R Magnum. At $759, it is a premium tool. But for a factory gun with these custom-level features, it is arguably the best pocket revolver ever released. We need to talk about Bond Arms. This company is famous for cramming serious firepower into some of the smallest handguns on the planet. Their classic double-barrel defenders are built like tanks. They are made of heavy stainless steel and feel like a brick in your pocket. That weight is great for recoil, but terrible for deep concealment. Enter the Stinger series. This is the slimmed-down evolution of the classic Derringer. The Rough series. Stinger utilizes a 3-inch stainless steel barrel mounted to a much narrower frame. This shaves the total weight down to just 16 ounces. That is a massive difference when you are carrying it in a gym shorts pocket or an ankle rig. The barrels are fully interchangeable. You can swap between 380 ACP, 9mm, and 38 Special. Rumors suggest a 327 Federal Magnum version is on the horizon. Each pistol ships with a standard rubber grip and a slim polymer option. The price starts at just $279. For an American-made backup gun that disappears on your body, that is hard to beat. For the fans of North American arms, the wait is finally over. You have been asking for a revolver that combines the rugged look of the Pug with the swing-out cylinder of the Sidewinder. North American Arms delivered the Sentinel. This tiny 5-shot revolver comes standard in .22 Magnum. However, the smart move is to order the conversion cylinder that allows you to fire .22 long rifle. This gives you a cheap training option and a serious defensive load in the same package. The build quality is all stainless steel. It features a black pebbled grip that locks into your hand. On a gun the size of a pack of gum, getting a solid grip is the difference between a hit and a miss. You can choose a standard front sight or upgrade to a tritium front post for low-light scenarios. This is the ultimate get-off-me gun. It is not a primary fighting pistol, but as a last line of defense, it is in a class of its own. Finally, we have to address the versatility king. In an economy where ammunition prices fluctuate wildly, the Taurus Model 692 Executive Grade is a stroke of genius. This is a revolver that does not care what ammo is on the shelf. It fires 38 Special, 357 Magnum, and 9mm Luger. Taurus includes 2 separate unfluted cylinders in the box. Thanks to a quick detach plunger system on the crane, you can swap calibers in under 10 seconds. This is the Executive Grade line, which means Taurus gave it the white glove treatment. It features a stunning satin stainless finish and a hand-tuned trigger that is crisp and predictable. The barrel is ported to vent gas upwards, driving the muzzle down and taming the recoil of heavy Magnum loads. It comes with Altamont checkered hardwood stocks and ships in a hard-sided locking case. At a time when shooters need one gun to do it all, this multi-caliber beast is the answer. The wheel gun is far from dead. In fact, for deep concealment and extreme reliability, it is often the superior choice. Whether you need a pocket cannon like the Stinger, a micro vault like the Sentinel, or a versatile system like the Model 692, there is a revolver on this list that will save your life when the chips are down. If you trust your safety to a snub nose that did not make this list, I want to hear about it. Drop the make and model in the comments below. Hit that like button if you learned something new today. Subscribe to the channel and ring the bell so you never miss a briefing. Stay dangerous and stay safe.